StratoStar is an education company with STEM programs that include high-altitude weather balloon launches. Our squadron has been invited to participate in one of these competitions to design experimental packages to be sent to the edge of space. Within these packages, we have included 3 separate experiments. These include an experiment on Hooke's law and rubber bands, the effects of near space on flash drives, and the difference in seed germination speeds when exposed to these high-altitude conditions.
One of our experiments was based on Hooke's law. The elongation of a rubber band is directly proportional to the force stretching it in newtons. Our hypothesis stated that rubber bands that are sent to space will have a noticeable decrease in elasticity when tested by Hooke's law. In our experimental package, we sent 3 different sized rubber bands to see if size combined with the decrease in temperature, pressure, and a massive increase in radiation would affect the elasticity. Upon receiving both flight and control packages after recovery, we measured the elasticity of both the flight and control rubber bands. The data was recorded, then graphed, and placed side by side to compare the lengths between flight and control bands. Based on our recorded data, there was no major change in elasticity between control and flight rubber bands, disproving our hypothesis.
Our second experiment was on the effects of a near-space environment of flash drives. Identical data was uploaded to 2 drives, and the data was compared to determine if the conditions had any effects on the drive. We found that there was no differences in the 2 drives as they both retained all of the data.
Our experiment was designed to see if the harsh environment of near space affected the germination rate of different vegetable seeds. We found that when control and flight seeds were compared, there was no significant difference in tomatoes, radishes, and peas. Our major problem during this experiment was consistently measuring plant height to the centimeter.
In addition to our 3 experiments, our group has been tasked with recording and documenting our project as well as designing a mission patch. Our team's idea for the patch was to superimpose a high-altitude weather balloon onto our current squadron patch. The new mission patch represents the frontier of sea and air, and now the frontier of space.
If we win the competition, our squadron can use the money to sponsor cadets in National Cadet Special Activities, or buy a generator for our squadron, allowing us to operate emergency missions without power.
One thing we learned about Joe Kittinger, other than his high-altitude balloon jumps, was his involvement with John Paul Stopp's experiments on high-G decelerations. Kittinger flew a jet alongside the rocket sled that Stopp used during these experiments. A quote from Kittinger that we found interesting was, "All the best things that happened to me was because I volunteered." Now, we found this interesting because of the Civil Air Patrol's reliance on volunteer service.